What is going on, guys? Teriyaki back here with part 3 to this pillar farming guide that I've been creating and following with my Cheese Fan Han account. Today we're going to go over pillar 3. Um, I want to kind of like get one thing out of the way here with the extra pillar 3 farms. That is technically still the extra pillar 2 farms. Even on the next slide, with when I update everything, it'll still be the same. So for now, let's pretend that Aiden isn't there, and that can technically be any other character that I may choose to farm, or you guys may choose to farm if you're following this guide, or if you're following this Let's Play. The only thing that might stay the same is probably going to be the guild shops with some changes here and there. Like Ayla Sakura, for instance, she's probably going to be somebody that we end up picking up from like the guild shops every once in a while. Honestly, I've been picking her up since before since technically before pillar 2. I've been picking her up mostly because I've been wanting to get her ready for the raid, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into a guild that's doing the current raid anytime soon, so we'll see. But I do have a 5-star Jedi team ready to unlock and go and gear up and level up for the raid if that so happens to happen eventually. But I digress, and let's kind of go over the pillars. So again, we're going to be going over pillar 3 here. Our light side farms is Zalbar and Mission Vow, so that's a 2-for-1 farm right there. That coincides with going for Jedi Knight Revan down here. We got another Gungan here. I believe this is Gungan Boomadir. We're finally getting into farming Admiral Piet for our Imperial Trooper teams. As you guys can come over here and look at the teams, this is still left over from Pillar 2. This will change when I go over like the rest of the Pillar 3 stuff and what teams you can create after farming Pillar 3. So but with Piet, you'll end up taking out Stark and putting Stark on this team for now. And then we'll also get Mother Talzin, which is another piece to our Night Sister puzzle. We'll be farming Wicket by this point, and also Boss Nass, and finally reaching the OG Mando, just the Mandalorian, with our dark side farms. Honestly, you guys might be I might be, and you guys might be farming him a little sooner than this. It just depends. He's also in the Galactic War Shop now, as well as Grief Karga is in the Galactic War Shop now, but we still have to farm the Grief Karga node for IG-11, which was Pillar 2. And then when we hit Cantina, this is where we should have started farming Geobrood Alpha back in like the old days, like before they updated the game for like the new player experience with how fast they level you up now to level 85. It would be about this pillar would be about the time you would reach level 83, 84, 85. So this would be the point where you would be farming Geobrood Alpha. But the fact that you reach level 85 basically within 2 weeks to a month, depending on how much you play, you're going to be farming Geobrood Alpha a lot sooner than this. We're also going to be picking up another piece to our first GL puzzle, which is Kirzantin. And then fleets, it's still showing Slave 1, TIE Advance, and TIE Defender. By this time, we should have Slave 1 and TIE Advance actually done. I'm actually pretty close to 7-star both of those already, so I'll probably be choosing something else to farm for fleets. Probably going to be a couple Galactic Republic ships at this point. And then TIE Defender should be unlocked, so TIE Defender I'll still be farming at this point, because obviously I do want a 7-star TIE Defender, but even having it at 4 stars is still technically good, because it can be a executor counter as well as a very good fleet, as you guys can see over here for Executrix. Guild shop, at this point, you're basically picking up the rest of the shards that you didn't pick up for like other characters, like certain Jedi and whatnot for the current Naboo raid, and then also picking up Erodium heat sinks and Zimbital cards, as both of those specific relic pieces are the better bang for your buck with the Get 3 and Get 2 currencies. Cantina shop. This is where we're going to pick up our last piece to the puzzle of the Night Sisters with old Daka. So this will be our full-fledged 5 Night Sisters teams. We'll have all 5 Night Sisters at this point, including Marin. Squad Arena, we're going to start picking up IG-88 at this point, and then finish off Grand Moff Tarkin if you haven't finished him to 7-star yet in the Galactic War shop. By this point, once you finish Zombie, we should be picking up, I would say at the same time, picking up the Wigs Bros, as I like to call them, Wedge and Big, so Wigs. And then if you haven't finished it, obviously Fleet Arena would be like General Grievous, Darth Vader, and Sunfac here. But you should be finished with at least 2 of them, aka Sunfac and Darth Vader by this point. I just put Sunfac there just to have Sunfac there, but you probably won't have General Grievous done, so you can technically put General Grievous in that spot still. And then our unlocks is going to be Jedi Knight Revan, because we have all 5 Geos at this point. Whether they're all 7 stars or not, you're gonna get at least a 5-star unlock for Padme. And then same thing with Chewbacca. We'll have a good roundabout squad for bounty hunters at this point, and so we should have a 5 or 6-star, maybe even a 7-star Chewbacca by this point. And then we should be unlocking Wampa, which I do have Wampa unlocked already. Hoda should be very close. Hermit Yoda, which is right here, he should be close to being unlocked by this point, or not too far behind Wampa, because Hoda will eventually go on one of our big Jedi teams towards the end of all the pillars. Again, when we come over here to extra pillar 3 farms, Iden's not there anymore. I only wanted to take Iden to 3-star. You guys can still continue to farm Iden if you want, but I only wanted to take her to 3-star. So at this point, I can choose if I want to add a 8th hard node farm, or just keep the 7 that I have already, which I'll most likely be keeping the 7. If I add an 8th, it'll be taking another character to 3-star, which would most likely be Mara Jade. So keep in mind, if you guys start seeing me farm Mara Jade at some point while playing on the YouTube account, the Cheese Fan Han account, that is going to be why I decided to go for 3-star Mara Jade. Guild shop, again, it's just picking up everybody, or finishing up everybody you didn't finish up yet, and finishing up some other requirements for like Jabba and JML and Leia, if there's certain people in there that you need for all 3 of those GLs, because those are the first 3 GLs we're going for, aka the Triforce GLs. Now over here, as I said earlier in the video, this is still technically the teams from Pillar 2 and finishing the Tier 3 Zeta Challenge, and then our first fleet. Again, this, I haven't updated this picture yet, and I still haven't updated it when we go and show what we get after finishing up the Pillar 3 farms. But when we get to Pillar 4, this picture will finally be updated. So again, just to kind of re-go over what we had, teams we had in Pillar 1, one thing I do want to keep in mind, and then I'll say it again not too long after when I go to the next slide to show what teams we can create, or what teams we'll have after the fact. There's also an update to one team that I forgot to add, but I'll talk about it afterwards. So from Pillar 1 to Pillar 2, we ended up creating Phoenix and Imperial Troopers, Bounty Hunters. By this point, we should have a CLS team. We'll have the Empire team because of Phoenix and Imperial Troopers. And then we have a kind of a Jedi team, but this is a Territory War Jedi team. So that's what that team is for. At this point in time, that is the only Territory War team besides the Phoenix that we have. The other 4 teams are basically can go both 5v5 GAC and Territory War. So, but the main Territory War focus, 2 main Territory War focused teams by this point is Phoenix and Keller and Beck here. We probably won't be going for Hera's Omicron for a little bit, because we do want Keller and Beck's Omicron or Poggle's Omicron next. Again, this was the fleet that I used to finish the Tier 3 Zeta challenge. And then this is the fleet that I'm still working on to make my main fleet in my arena. Speaking of arena, I am finally top 50 in arena. I get anywhere from top 45 to top 50. It just depends on how much I play, and also the opponents are getting harder and harder. So I'm hoping that my TIE Defender gets unlocked pretty soon, and then I'm hoping that I can get a couple more 7-star ships and gear up my pilots to do better and get further along in that top 50. So now that we've finished Pillar 3 by this point, which is the whole reason of this specific guide video, there's going to be some team updates, teams added, and another fleet added by this point. So that is going to pop up right now. All right, so here we go with some updated teams and teams added. So the teams that change, or the teams that stay the same, are obviously the Phoenix and the Empire and the Keller and Beck team. Again, like I said not too long ago, I'm trying to do unique teams, so no crossover characters basically. And so things that change is we will take Stark out and add Piet in, and then we'll get the Zeta for Piet as well as the Zeta for Veers, and that will become like one of our biggest teams next to Phoenix. And at this point, this will be our biggest team, Empire. And then we're slowly working on this team, which is version 2 of our CLS team. So that team changed. And then the one change that I said I would talk about while we're over here is Greedo technically will be taken out for the Mandalorian here. I just forgot to add it onto the pictures over here. And then the teams that get added are going to be obviously the Geos, which gets us Padme, Night Sisters, which is a good GAC and territory war defensive or offensive team, as well as a second or even better assault battle team next to Phoenix for the Secrets and Shadows assault battle. And then we'll end up getting a Jedi Knight Revan team. At this point, I'll be taking Ezra up in star levels as well as levels just to throw him on there, just so I can keep the teams unique. And because we got Chewbacca for the CLS team, that frees up an extra Jedi, so I'm going to throw Old Ben on this team at this point. And then with Padme here, I'm going to go back and take Ahsoka Tano up, aka Ahsoka Tano Snips, take her up in star level and gear level. And like I said, I've been farming Ayla since technically Pillar 1 in a way. And then Lumi, obviously, she's one of my 5-star Jedi that I'll go back and finish up. And then we also got General Kenobi by this point. So that is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams that you have. 10 unique teams that you have from Pillar 1 to Pillar 3. Now, keep in mind, we still got 2 pillars to go. And there's probably going to be like 2 more teams that show up from either from each pillar itself or combined itself. When I go and look at the next 2 pillars, probably after I create this video, I'll probably see what other teams I can create. But I know one team for sure will be a mix of the Sith, so it'll be like Emperor Palpatine, Vader, and a couple of other Sith just for assault battles, so that won't be the unique part of the team. Now for fleets, again, as I said, I haven't updated this specific picture yet, but this is the fleet that I'm still working towards. My TIE Advance is actually 6 stars, and my TIE Fighter, my Imperial TIE Fighter, is actually 7 stars, and I do believe my TIE Bomber is also 6 stars, and I do believe my Slave One is 6 stars at this point. And then this is my current Endurance Galactic Republic fleet that I've kind of working on. It's also a fleet that I threw on defense, so I can use this team on offense for GAC. In my last video, you guys saw that I was 0-2 for 3v3. That's because I forgot to actually set defenses for 3v3, but I also didn't have teams for 3v3 at that point. So I did finally set defense for like the last round in the 3v in this 3v3 event. So hopefully that'll help me out a little bit with score, because I can full clear my enemies on 3v3, but I can't win because I didn't have a defense. That's the only problem. So yeah, so this will be basically what you have like 5v5 and territory wise at this point for both fleets and um teams, and then you can split, mix and match teams for 3v3 for this as well. I might go over some 3v3 teams in a different slide at some point, but for now, we're just going to keep it strictly to the 5v5s in general, for strictly for territory war and GAC. But that is basically going to be it for this Pillar 3 overview. When we go into Pillar 4, obviously I'll keep this specific section the same at first. The only things that will look different should be the extra pillar, which will be extra Pillar 4 farms, and then the Pillar 4, obviously. And then, yeah, that's actually going to be it for this video. Stay tuned for more in upcoming videos. Again, sorry for like the 2-week hiatus from making videos. Just been kind of busy with IRL stuff, work, and also my current main guild. So yeah. Anyways, before I get out of the video topic, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.